simple lyrics, ingenuous hallelujah ballads. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. But these words were charms, incantations chanted in secret freedom code. Surreptitious melodies.
Andrea Thompson holds many titles and has received multiple nominations and awards for her work as a spoken word artist, advocating and sharing the stories of Black Canadians. She is a print poet, arts advocate, and educator, and her passion began in the mid-90s, joining Canada's first national slam poetry team. Andrea's talents have only blossomed since then, shedding light on racism, demographic barriers, stories of her ancestors, and celebrating Black history heroes such as Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman, and Mahalia Jackson. Joining me now this morning to discuss the importance of Black History Month and to shed some light on her own work is Andrea Thompson, award-winning spoken word artist and professor at the University of Toronto. Andrea, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Listening to your poetry, it really draws you in. It's really powerful to listen to the way you deliver your words, not only the message, but just the delivery. So let's talk about your journey and how you got to where you are today.
Sure. Well, I was a very kind of shy, awkward kid. I was fine with my friends, but terrified of strangers. But I loved poetry. And my grandmother always had poems that she remembered when she was a little girl, and she would just spout off poetry in the house when I was a kid. And so I grew up loving the sound of poetry spoken out loud. And as I got older, I was kind of pushed into performing and just got hooked. I got such a kick out of having the experience of sharing my words with a community and having that immediate response that you get with spoken word. So now I'm the pushy lady who helps youth find their own voices
and you know what,
express their own words.
Sometimes that's what you need. You need someone to push you for that creative expression to come out. Anyone who's tried any form of creative writing, not only poetry, knows that it's therapeutic, but it's also educational. So let's talk about how your poetry really shares the truth of Black history, how it shares the stories of Black Canadians, and the impact that you've seen in doing your work.
Yeah, well, it's something I've become really fascinated because spoken word as an art form has really been fed by Black history, specifically in North America, all the way from the days of slavery with call and response and poems and songs used as like covert communication to help people escape slavery, all the way up through the Harlem Renaissance and the Black arts movement, where Black voices were really celebrated, and the idea that we could use our own language, the way that people speak on the street could become a poetic art form, I think became really important. And so I love doing research. I have a new album coming out, or just came out, that explores my own paternal ancestor, Cornelius Thompson, who escaped slavery in the Underground Railroad. And I look into the history of other Black activists, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. We have such a rich history of Black movers and shakers all through history here in Canada.
And you know, it really is about keeping those stories alive. So what does Black History Month mean to you outside of the work that you're already doing?
Well, you know, I find Black History Month is a chance for me to learn, as well as a chance for me to kind of share my own work with the world. Every year I learn something new. I learn something about the community in Canada and sometimes the wider world as well. So yeah, for me, it's a chance to gather, to share stories, to celebrate all of the work and the activism and the movement and creative contributions that Black Canadians have made.
Yeah, and your contributions are also so appreciated and celebrated too this month and throughout the year, Andrea, because I should mention you were also the recipient of the 2021 Pavlik Poetry Prize, which is quite a prestigious award. Thank you so much, Andrea Thompson, for joining us this morning and sharing your insights as well.
Thank you, Marianne. Happy Black History Month.